Well, I always like it when I have a chance to get off the main road for just a little while, the road most traveled, and take the road least traveled or the road not traveled at all, and share a little nature clip to go with our weekly devotions. And this particular week, we have a mission. We are looking for signs of a dirty, filthy, livestock rustling chicken thief. Yeah, the landowner has been losing chickens and traced some of the feathers down here, and I have a couple of trail cams set out, and we're gonna be looking for that rascal. There's one trail cam down that way. I'm gonna go to the farthest one first and come back. Well, here's the farthest one. So well, it looks like we found our thief. I'm going to start today with a couple of object lessons, just right out of the gate. And then after the object lessons, then I'll bring home the point. I'm going to do 50 dots, each direction. So let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's going to do it. Okay, won't put you through all of this. I'll shut this off, and then I'm starting to get bored. So I'm just going to fill all this in. Use your imagination and see a whole bunch of little dots going across here and down here. Here's what I'm doing. There are 50 dots this way, horizontal, and 50 dots this way, vertical, and altogether, you'll come out with if we figure it all right, we'll come out with 2,500 little dots. And I'm not going to dot 2,500 little dots. Here's the point. If each one of these little dots is worth 1 million people, then all of these dots would be representative of 2.5 billion people, which is about how many Christians there are on earth right now. Now, we are a part of the second largest Protestant denomination, with the United Methodist Church currently worldwide being about 12.7 million people. So if we take this 1 million every dot and this whole chart to represent 2.5 billion, and each person's a million, and there are 12.7 million in the United Methodist Church, we come out with something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And out of Christianity as a whole, this is about the amount that we compose of that with our membership. Now, I'm focusing on United Methodist because this devotion is coming from a United Methodist church, but many of you that are watching come from different churches. If you were from a Baptist church, for instance, a Southern Baptist, you'd be just a little bit higher because that's the largest Protestant denomination, but you wouldn't be a whole lot higher on that chart. So just kind of look at that for a moment. And then I'm going to share my second object lesson. What I've done for this illustration is I've drawn a timeline of Christianity. Not a very straight timeline, kind of crooked, but that's because I'm sloppy. And then I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to mark down a few significant dates. And every 6 inches on the ruler, I'm going to call that 100 years, okay? Century. I'm going to start over here with the year 0. And Christ was just a little baby, or maybe a toddler. Let's go to, let's see, there's 1. Let's pause right here. This is, we'll put right in here the year 1054 AD. This is when there was a big split in the church between Eastern and Western. The East we know of today as the Orthodox churches. The West would incorporate Catholicism and also Protestantism, Protestant churches and others probably also. 1054. Let's keep going with our timeline. Let's pause again here. This is 1517. This is the Protestant Reformation. October 31st, 1517 was the date that Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the door of the Wittenberg Church, which was like the public bulletin board of its day. It's kind of like today posting your gripes on Facebook. Okay? And that sparked the Protestant Reformation. And so it sparked another kind of split in the church between the Catholics and the Protestants. Let's go a little farther on our timeline. Right here in the 1700s, we have John Wesley. And the Methodist revival. Especially in, let's see, we want to be in 100 years, 1784. Especially right here. Let's call this, if I'm maybe off with my date, but this is 1784, I believe. And this is the date of the Christmas Convention, the founding of the Methodist Church, the Methodist Episcopal Church within the United States, at what they call the Christmas Conference in Baltimore. Okay, so the 20th century, 21st century. There are other things we could stick in, but what I wanted you to notice was these dates. Where we are today, the age of Methodism, of Protestantism, of the East-West split, kind of in scale. And let's look at that for just a moment, and then I'll kind of get to my point. So, what's the takeaway from this? Well, let's ponder it for just a moment. Let's think about it carefully. And let me ask you a few questions to kind of guide us in pondering these illustrations and see what you think the takeaway is. First question is, how many people do you know of that feel like they have the answers about religion, that they understand the truth about Christianity, that they have this all nailed down, and almost to the point of being dogmatic? Now, I was originally going to ask, how many Christians do you know of that are dogmatic? But as I started to ask that question, I realized there are a lot of people that are not Christians that are also dogmatic and think they have it down. And so the question that I have is, of the people you know, how many would feel comfortable in saying they know what they're talking about when they talk about the Christian faith? how many of those, percentage-wise, second question, percentage-wise, those that have come to your mind, which may still be coming to your mind, how many of those do you think really are well-read, well experienced in Christianity beyond their little tribe, or else the tribe they left when they were young? Something might have ticked them off and they left, or else they might have been in this one church or group all of their lives. So how many of them have a broader understanding of the different aspects of Christianity besides their own tribal aspects, which we've seen are not very big, even in the first and the second largest Protestant churches in Christianity? Okay. That, I suppose, brings me to a third question. If we were to talk about this to those people, how receptive would they be, the ones you've been thinking of, how receptive would they be to kind of stretch their wings outside of their tribe? That is, reading, studying, making friendships, discussing in a calm way theology to understand from outside their tribe. How threatened would they be? How receptive would they be? How would it go if the conversation turned to something that they disagreed with theologically? Okay, then the fourth question. Where do you fit into that? How well-versed are you outside of your tribe? How threatened are you when someone has an opinion, a theological opinion that doesn't fit your tribe? How sure are you that you have the answers, or at least the answers to the important questions? The point? I guess you can make the point for yourself. Boy, do I have a page for you. You can get to it just by ccel.org, or even CCEL will probably get you to a search engine to find it. It's called Christian Classics Ethereal Library. It's an online repository of famous works by Christian authors of all sorts of backgrounds that are in the public domain. You can read them online. You can download them. You can download them and print them off and read them. But some of the greatest works of all time are located here, and you can go straight to them and find them. Expand your horizons. Well, we've got half of a week left before we come together to worship again on Sunday. We're into the Advent season, and Christmas is all around us. May God bless you and give you grace as you walk through this week and serve Him.